Point of order, Madam Speaker.
I have recognized you, Jeff.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Madam
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
For recognizing the
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Front. Honorable member for the There's a central.
There's a south, Madam
There's a south.
Yes, point of order.
I have not recognized you and you have switched on your mic.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
What do we say when we stand on a point of order?
No, point of order, Madam Speaker.
What do we say when we stand on a point of order?
I'm within the rules of the House to stand on a point of order. I'm within the rules of the House to stand on a point of order.
Thank you so much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, for recognizing the United Democratic Front to contribute on Bill 20. Leader of UDF, what is it?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in this House as a member and a leader of UDF. As a party, we are concerned on how some other member disrespects that chair. We know it for sure. It is a practice in this House. It is a practice in this House where if a member has a point of order, he's not supposed to switch on his mic. To us, we feel like we are disrespected, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Leader of UDF. In fact, when you disrespect this chair, it's not about me. It's about the position. Thank you. Spokesperson for UDF. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, when we contribute as political parties in this House, we would want our contributions to be taken seriously, and we would want to see the government side being silent and listening to what we are contributing. If indeed they are listening, government. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I rise to support Bill number 20, entitled Bill number 20 of 2022, entitled Emergency Power Restoration Bill, which aims to borrow 26,800,000 special withdrawing rights, which will come with 17,900,000 special withdrawing grant, with a sole aim of rehabilitating Kapitira Hydro Station in the Lower Shire, which was destroyed by the tropical cyclone Anna, and that hit Malawi and the region in just ended rain season. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, the importance of this bill cannot be overemphasized, in that Malawi as a country has a big challenge in power generation and has one of the lowest power penetration rate in the African continent, if not the world. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, one of the factors that have made our country, Malawi, to be underdeveloped is the issue of having a very low power penetration rate, which has been a stumbling block for investment. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, time has come for us to put Malawi first and join hands in ensuring that projects like these should be supported by the whole House. However, as a country, we have a challenge that our projects are in most cases small compared to countries around us. For example, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Tanzania, the next door, are developing a generation facility which will generate over 2,000 megawatts addition to their grid. While us, as a country, our total generation is at less than 500 megawatts of power, including the SADC hydro station. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, in Zambia, the power of Lusaka city is much more than the total power of Malawi as a country. Madam Speaker, without power, we cannot develop, for everything revolves around power. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, over and above hydroelectricity, let us also look at other sources of power, such as coal. I know the arguments will be raised talking of coal not being environmentally clean, and the environmentalists will condemn us, which is very unfortunate. Because the very developed countries come here in Africa, mine our coal, and take it to America, and use it for power generation. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, similarly for our uranium in Karonga, it is taken elsewhere and used it to generate power. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, on the other hand, ESCOM must change and supply free-phase power to all consumers as a standard, like our colleagues in our neighboring countries. Countries like Tanzania. This will help in developing a vibrant cottage industry, as the case with Tanzania, where small to medium industries are indeed backyard venture due to reliable three-phase power supply, which is a standard. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, this element of providing single phase is as a result of consumption culture, where power is considered as a domestic tool and not investment tool at household level for cottage industry. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, running business in this country has become a nightmare due to power challenges. These challenges have come in because of inadequate power generation, which is all due to poor planning. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, on the other hand, as a country of late, we have been looking and emphasizing investment in renewable energy, solar power in particular. On the surface, this looks attractive, but has its own challenges, one of which is storage. The peak hour of solar generation is during the day, which is low demand time for the households, since households need more lighting during night. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, for us to get these challenges, to get out of these challenges, we must look at other means such as cogeneration, as mentioned above. I am mentioning coal because we have resources. I am mentioning coal because we have resource. Though our cooperating partners will always discourage us from using coal while they are busy taking it to their countries for the same purpose of generating power, as the case of the heavy coal mining in Mozambique and passes through our rail in Malawi for the United States of America. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I would like to believe that if we are to have a committed leader and the government, it is possible to turn the country around by having mega power projects that would provide 1,000 megawatts, and for once have access power that will in turn help to generate the real 1 million job as the Tonse Alliance has been dreaming about. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, with such power, we could be able to have proper irrigation and have our people producing all the year round. Rain-fed agriculture, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, with our increasing population, will not get us anywhere. Contrary to popular thinking, our challenge in the agriculture sector is not just inputs, rather proper agricultural infrastructure, of which power is a major component. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I therefore call upon the government to come up with mega power generation project with at least 1,000 megawatts if Malawi is to turn around and move from a least developed country to a developing country. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, this is doable. Our friends in Rwanda have done it, and we can do it. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, all we need is visionary leadership. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, to achieve this, we have to start from somewhere. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, to achieve this, we have to start from somewhere. Hence, UDF's support for Bill number 20 of the 2022. However, Malawi needs to think outside the box, and that takes a visionary leadership, a leader who understands the challenge of the country, and not a leader who simply flows with the set plans in the infrastructure development, with no plans on a project that will trickle down to help in turning around the livelihood of the people of Malawi, which power is one of the major drivers. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, politicizing institutions, those who are responsible for power generation, it is not taking us anywhere. That is why Malawi in this energy crisis, we would want to urge the government to avoid politicizing institutions like ESCOM and Ingenco. With these few remarks, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, United Democratic Front support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much, UDF through Machinga East. Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I just want to draw your attention to Standing Order number 90 in relation to just what happened when the spokesperson for UDF had actually taken the floor. In no way do I support any degeneration of peace in the House, but I thought maybe you need to take that into consideration when it's time to bring order to the House. The spokesperson had already taken the floor, but the leader of UDF was given space to interrupt the spokesperson, and I thought that was a violation of this Standing Order number 90.
Thank you very much, Chief Whip. You are indeed right, but I gave him the chance to speak because it was time for UDF, and he is the leader of UDF. I thought he wanted to clarify something. Thank you. Leader of the House.
Madam Speaker, just to assure you that you are always respected, and you shall always be respected. But Parliament, Madam, Parliament, sometimes people can debate, but that does not mean anyone will be allowed to disrespect you, and that leadership from this side will not allow that. Having said that, I would like to propose that we curtail debate in order to allow the Minister to respond. Or the debate, for your information, the debate from Chitipa South, on its own, it's a package. And Machinga East, the debate, it's a package. And they have represented us very well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, we have a motion before us, and the motion is asking the House to curtail debate in order for the Honorable Minister of Finance to wind up. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Honorable Minister.
Madam Second Deputy Speaker, honorable colleagues, allow me first of all to thank the spokesperson for the DPP who made a few comments regarding this bill, but let me just put one or two things on record straight. The bill is called an emergency power restoration project, and I wanted to explain, Madam Deputy Speaker, that the reason why it is being called an emergency power restoration project loan authorization is because the money that we are talking about is coming from the International Development Association crisis response window. So the origin of emergency is coming because of the source of that funding. The World Bank has a few windows for financing projects like these ones. The IDA 19 cycle just ended on the 30th of June, and a few weeks ago, the World Bank and the IDA are now in the IDA 20 new cycle. If this project had to wait for the IDA 20 cycle, which has just started this month, it would have taken a long time to get the approvals for the Kapichira project. Therefore, instead of using the normal window for this project, we had to use the crisis response window, hence calling it an emergency. I wanted to clarify that point because the honorable colleague was mistaking the usage of the word emergency. Let me also correct the information that was given on the floor that Ejenko needed only 15 billion to respond to this crisis. Let me say that the rapid assessment report that came up with the 60 billion that this House is being asked to approve came from the World Bank and Ejenko jointly. So the figure of 15 billion as coming from Ejenko may be unofficially, but it was never the case. And even if that was the case, raising that amount of money would still have been a tall order. And let me put it on record, honorable colleagues, that if we do need to change some of the levies, then it is this House that needs to change some of the laws. I'm talking of the MALEP levies and other levies. So changing of levies is never in the hands of one person. It will always be collective effort of this honorable House. And again, the argument that ESCOM owes Agreco 64 billion, why don't you use that 64 billion to finance this project? Well, if ESCOM owes 64 billion, it means it doesn't have the money. So it wouldn't really be appropriate to conclude that because you're owing Agreco 64 billion, therefore finance this project by the 64 billion. It does not really go like that, Madam Deputy Speaker. So there is no project, and again I repeat this on the floor, Madam Deputy Speaker, that there will be no project that is put together without a component for supervision and oversight. I think the difference now comes in terms of who does that oversight, and that's an operational issue to do with the implementing agency. So World Bank will not allocate money for MPs. They will only allocate money for supervision and oversight. It's up to us now as implementing units to coordinate with each other on how do we engage committees of parliament and be able to do that, because the project composition will only end at supervision and oversight. It will not specify who does what in that supervision and component. So let me repeat, yes, I said that and I say this again, there's no component, so there's no project with no component of supervision. Otherwise, that project is bound to fail. But still, let me thank the honorable colleague from the honorable spokesperson from the DPP for supporting this bill, although only politically. I would have loved if he had supported it even technically, as the UDF has really put its own full power behind this project. And I also thank the comments from the spokesperson of the UDF for coming up with how we can take this energy drive more aggressively, because without energy, a country cannot develop. And I wanted to share those sentiments. With these few remarks, Madam Deputy Speaker, allow me to move that Bill number 20 of 2022, the AIDA Emergency Power Restoration Project Loan Authorization, be now read a second time.
Thank you, honorable members. I now put a question, and the question is that Bill number 20 of 2022, International Development Association Emergency Power Restoration Project Loan Authorization, be read a second time. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried.